Tonight at 6 on Tulsa's Channel 8.
It's the 40th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, how people in Tulsa are marking the occasion.
You knew it was coming. A state lawmaker wants to join 18 other states in Washington, D.C. and legalize medical marijuana.
Federal money says 6 areas, including this one, need to be cleaned up. We'll tell you about the plan.
Temperatures will climb into the 60s on Wednesday, but a big cool down is heading our way Thursday. Details with your 8-day planner.
You're watching KTUL, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. On this 40th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, we find that Americans are still very divided over abortion.
A March for Life is about to get underway in downtown Tulsa tonight. 3,000 people are expected at Holy Family Cathedral at 8th and Boulder. Channel 8's Yvonne Lewis is there live tonight and has reaction from both sides of this controversial issue. Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, Mark. This march is about to get underway here at Holy Family Cathedral. That's where a lot of people are inside right now. And you know, this march is about protecting the lives of the unborn, and that's why they're here. It's a peaceful and prayerful demonstration that includes people of different faiths. Now, later on, they will hear from the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and this walk leads up to an even greater event in the nation's capital later this week.
In a school where community service is stressed, Madison Mosley is about to go the distance. She's headed to Washington, D.C. for a pro-life rally on Friday and says a new strategy will help bring about change.
Because we always have issues kind of shoved in our faces, and we see that doesn't really work with helping change people's minds. So just kind of showing them that so many people care, and I think that we've kind of learned that that's the best way to, you know, do these things.
Planned Parenthood is also part of the conversation and issued the following statement that says, in part, access to abortion is legal and constitutionally protected. From the State House to Capitol Hill, we will work to protect access to health care for women no matter what.
Now, there are 3 of Madison's siblings will be accompanying her to Washington, D.C. They'll board buses right after this event. As a matter of fact, there are about 5 buses just ready to take off to the nation's capital. Reporting live in downtown Tulsa, Yvonne Lewis, Tulsa's Channel 8.
All right, thanks, Yvonne. There is still time to take part in this event if you'd like to. Again, the March for Life begins at 7 o'clock at 8th and Boulder. Our Facebook friends are sounding off tonight about this hot button issue. Kara says 55 million, absolutely heartbreaking. It's more than a religious or political issue. Someone has to stand up for the innocent. But on the other side of things, Kelly says 40 years of keeping abortion safe and legal. Here's to another 40 plus. My body, my choice. You can leave your comments too. Just go to our KTUL Facebook page.
We have breaking news from the state auditor's office. Some of the money paid to IMSA by the cities of Tulsa and Oklahoma City was spent on some interesting things. The city council and state lawmakers called for the audit in May. It covers a period of 3.5 years, and here are just some of the findings. According to the audit, IMSA's CEO spent $800 on spa treatments, $400 for 2 lifetime subscriptions to Sirius Radio, and $35,000 for floral services and other, quote, office beautifications. Also mentioned in the audit, $4,300 spent on a 20-year anniversary party where 3 workers received $400 pins. Now, IMSA's Tulsa office would not comment on the audit. To see the entire 46-page report, just go to KTUL.com.
State lawmaker wants to make medical marijuana legal here in Oklahoma. Senator Constance Johnson has filed a bill to establish a medical marijuana program for people with debilitating conditions. Johnson also wants to reduce the penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana. If approved, a separate bill would reduce the maximum penalty for 1.5 ounces of pot, which is currently 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine, to 10 days in jail with a $200 fine. 18 states and the District of Columbia have medical marijuana programs. Meanwhile, legislation filed by another Oklahoma lawmaker would ban texting and driving. The bill, written by State Rep Curtis McDaniel, exempts text to police and paramedics. The penalty would not exceed $500, and it looks like the ban could go through. McDaniel has bipartisan support backing his bill.
It was a really nice day across the area. We climbed into the lower 50s here in the metro region. We saw near 60 just southwest of Tulsa. Really not much going on as far as HD Max is concerned. All is clear and all is dry, and we do expect that to continue into our Wednesday. You can see right now temperatures are beginning to fall back down to 40, so a little chilly outside. Jacket will be needed this evening. You have the northeast, and it is colder. Owasso 39 and Catoosa coming in at 39 as well. All right, tomorrow morning it's going to be cold. Temperatures will fall down lower 30s, but by tomorrow afternoon, probably put the jacket away as we see temps climb back into the 60s for highs. We'll tell you more about it with the 8-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Parents of a 56-year-old woman make a heartbreaking discovery inside her South Tulsa home. Linda Layard's parents hadn't heard from her in a couple of days and went to her house. They found her inside, dead, and her 17-year-old son Henry leaving with another man. Police want to talk to Henry. He has pink hair and was last seen wearing black and green pajama pants. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. Police need your help finding a missing woman who could be in danger. 68-year-old Marilyn Chappell left the Woodland Terrace Senior Living Center last Friday around 10:30 in the morning. Now, she's not been seen or heard from since. Chappell wore a long black coat, blue jeans, black shoes, and had a black purse. She's taking medication for high blood pressure and cholesterol. If you see her, please call police.
And a disturbing case out of LaFleur County. That's where two people were discovered injured outside a burning home. Police and deputies were called to a home near Spiro last night and found the couple unconscious in the front yard and burned. A woman was critically injured and had been hit in the head. She suffered minor burns. Man also suffered minor burns and was treated for smoke inhalation. Both were airlifted to a Tulsa hospital. Deputies say it's possible the entire ordeal may have been caused by an argument between the two victims. Oklahoma's drought and receding lake levels reveal human remains in Pittsburgh County. A skeleton was discovered on a sandbar in Lake Eufaula. It's believed the remains belong to a Native American man. Forensic experts plan to excavate the bones sometime today. Well, the final sentence is in for the murder of a well-known Tulsa businessman.
Muhammad Aziz is looking at more than 32 years in prison for hiring a hitman. Aziz owned convenience stores and had Neil Sweeney killed because Sweeney stopped delivering fuel to his businesses. Aziz was also given more than 2 years probation. Now, the trigger man in the killing was Alonzo Johnson. He'll serve 2 life sentences for carrying out the crime. Dismissal denied. A former church janitor accused of making a lewd proposal to a teenage girl wanted his case tossed out. But today a judge said no. Israel Castillo has pleaded not guilty to sending explicit Facebook messages to a 14-year-old. And his attorney claims there's not enough evidence for a trial. But again, a judge ruled otherwise today. Castillo will be back in court February 1st. If convicted, he could spend 20 years in prison.
A new path for an oil pipeline from Canada to the Gulf gets a green light in Nebraska, and it could mean thousands of new jobs right here in Oklahoma. New tonight, Nebraska's governor has approved a new route for the Keystone XL pipeline. It bypasses the state's Sand Hills region, pleasing landowners and environmental groups worried about contamination. Eventually, the pipeline will travel through Oklahoma to the Gulf in Texas. It still needs approval by President Obama. There is a push to clean up some ugly parts of our city.
Tonight, the City Council will reveal its plan to the public to revitalize 6 brownfield sites in Tulsa. Now, they include the Evans Spin Tube Complex in Lansing Avenue, Apache Circle, a shopping center on North Cincinnati, 2 gas stations in North Tulsa, and the former Morton Health Center on Pine. That's where we find Channel 8's Kim Jackson, who says the center could be made into a museum, among other things.
This old health center has been boarded and bandaged up, needing rehab of its own. And that's all outlined right here in this major plan. Once a place of healing for the African American community, this old Morton Health Center has been abandoned.
Morton, I pass by it daily, and it need a facelift.
Willie Sells has been a barber nearly 50 years in Tulsa. His shop is down the street from the old Morton building.
We have people here that were born in Morton.
Citizens spoke out. They want to see this become a cultural, historical center, maybe a museum.
Oh, that'd be nice. I like that.
6 properties were selected in the pilot program where the community gave input on rehab and development.
We hope that there will be interest from developers to want to do something to those properties.
The Evans Spin Tube Steel Factory is another site. Citizens recommend retail space here and restaurants. The city of Tulsa owns this and the Morton property. And the plan is just a plan and a hope for improvement.
And the ones that are privately held, our hope is that that will stimulate the imagination within certain developers to say, okay, it's been identified by the community that this is a desirable purpose over there.
It could mean more business at the barber shop. It could also cure the suffering of a historical building. The city of Tulsa already has $600,000 to clean up this area. Soon they'll open up for bids from developers. In North Tulsa, Kim Jackson, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Thank you, Kim. And the EPA gave Tulsa a research grant worth $175,000 for the project. That research will help guide the city and landowners as they revitalize those 6 properties.
Making room for its growing student body, Broken Arrow's enrollment jumped by 600 this school year, and that means new construction. Well, today the senior high school and its marching band celebrated with a topping out ceremony on its brand new building. $27 million in bond money will help build new science labs, art rooms, a media center, and a new band room, among other things. Superintendent Jared Mendenhall says this day is a dream come true for Broken Arrow schools.
When we come back, why more and more senior citizens are struggling with credit card debt.
Plus, a proposed tax-free weekend for gun ammo under attack.
They don't need any stimulus. They're doing great.
See why critics say it's a waste of time and money.
And there is a current accident right now on Highway 75 near the I-44 junction. So in that area, you want to, of course, try to avoid that if you can. Now, the weather is going to be up and down over the next 7 to 8 days. Talking about large temperature swings with your forecast.
And a Broadway classic comes to life in Tulsa ahead. The stars will tell you what surprises you can expect.
An Oklahoma lawmaker is proposing a tax-free weekend for guns and ammo.
He believes it's good for businesses and for consumers. It's very similar to Oklahoma's sales tax weekend for clothes. But reporter Adam Mertz talked to critics who wonder if it's really necessary and also if it's a good use of tax dollars.
Good handgun, one you could bet your life on. You're going to spend a little bit of money.
A couple hundred to well over $1,000 for some guns. But what if there was a way to buy one without paying any sales tax?
Closer to hunting season, that might be a really good thing. Right now, quite frankly, demand far outstrips supply.
Gun stores like Heartland Outdoors certainly aren't against the idea. While the gun control debate drives up sales, one lawmaker is pushing for a tax-free holiday for guns and ammo.
While firearms, yes, are selling like hotcakes off the stores, those shelves will be restocked at some juncture.
Representative Mike Turner is the lawmaker behind the legislation. Under the proposal, guns, ammunition, and most hunting supplies would be tax-free for one weekend each year.
They can wait till that, sales tax weekend, and it might get them in the door and buy a few more items to help out that retailer.
They don't need any stimulus. They're doing great.
Oklahoma Democratic Party Chairman Wallace Collins doesn't see the need for the tax-free weekend. In fact, he says the tax dollars this would cost the state would be better spent somewhere else.
We need to take that tax money. It needs to go for education, public education, higher education. It needs to go for mental health. It needs to go to the Department of Corrections. It needs to go for veterans issues.
Well, it's unclear how much sales tax revenue could be lost if this tax-free weekend is approved. Representative Turner says there will be a study to look into that.
New report shows people over 50 rely too much on their credit cards. According to AARP, it's because of their fixed income and on several levels, too. The average person over 50 owes $8,000 on their credit cards. Under 50, and it's $6,000. But here's a problem. Older adults tend to run up that debt because they have less income after retirement. And the reason they can't pay it off is the same, not enough money. So the best advice, financial experts will tell you credit should be used as a convenience and not as an additional paycheck.
It's opening night for a Broadway hit taking the stage in Tulsa tonight. Jacqueline Hyde opens at the PAC at 7:30. Stars of the show, Constantine Morales and Deborah Cox, met with the media today. They say the production is beautiful and full of surprises.
It's thought-provoking, it's entertaining, it's suspenseful, it'll have you at the edge of your seat. You think you'll know how it's going to end, but you don't.
Sounds good. Jacqueline Hyde runs through Sunday and tickets are still available.
All right, Mike Collier joins us now. Where are we on this roller coaster ride now with the temperatures?
We're on the up.
On the up.
Yeah,
right now. Okay.
the fun side, right? You know,
the warmer
side. And yeah, in the next couple of days we'll see it go up. We're going to see it go down, back up, and then next week we'll add rain to the mix. So it should be very interesting. So let's show you how it's all going to play out for us across the region. HD Max 8000 showing all clear conditions across the state of Oklahoma. But as we look to the Pacific Northwest, things begin to change as a more active weather pattern develops. There are a lot of storm systems in the Pacific just lining up, ready to head our way, and we're ready for them. We need them to move our way to bring us some much needed rain to the region, and this is going to begin to impact our area beginning Sunday and then lasting through much of next week. In the meantime, we're going to see some variations in the temperatures from anywhere from 60s to 40s. But here's our weather pattern over the next 7 to 8 days. I want to show you, this is very fun to watch. There's a lot of colors, I know, but I'll just go and show you the main emphasis of this. Most of the storm systems right now are to the northeast of us. This is northwesterly flow, means storm systems move from the northwest to the southeast. But as we go through time, we'll fast forward this to Sunday. We finally get some energy out west to move our way. And what does that mean for us? It actually means increasing chances for rain by Sunday. I know it's going to fall on the weekend, but hey, at least we're getting some rain into the area. That storm system quickly moves northeast, and then you can see a lot of energy develops out to the west. So just like I said last night, as we wrap up January and head towards early February, things are going to get a little more interesting in our area, increasing chances for rain, and also potentially some unseasonably warm weather heading our way early next week. And speaking of unseasonably warm, tomorrow looks perfect as well. 47 right now, a little chilly outside at this hour, dew point at 28, 48% humidity. Today's high 52, a nice day. Comparatively speaking, we should be in the upper 40s for highs, but this morning did start off quite cold with lows in the upper teens. 37 in Bartlesville, 37 degrees in Claremore, Tulsa at 47. You still find 50s to the southwest of us. That milder air is going to continue to lift to the northeast for tomorrow afternoon. But tonight with clear skies and light winds, it's going to be chilly, 31 for a morning low. Then tomorrow afternoon, that front to the north of us begins to slowly move our direction. 62 is going to be our high. Enjoy it tomorrow, because Thursday is going to be completely different. A typical Oklahoma day for you, or a typical Oklahoma week for you. Wait a day and you'll get some different weather. And that's definitely going to be the case, as Will Rogers pointed out many years ago. All right, overnight tonight, clear skies, chilly weather expected. 24 in Bartlesville, and as warm as 41 down in McAllister. So cold north, a little milder to the south. Either way, you're going to need the jacket tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, if you get a chance, get outside, enjoy some gorgeous weather. You are a lucky person. 62 for a high here in Tulsa, 68 down in McAllister. A little cooler to the northeast of us, mid to upper 50s. Clear skies expected all day tomorrow. Looking great at lunchtime, 54 degrees. Sunrise at 7:30, and the sunset will be at 5:41. Your extended forecast. Boy, what a roller coaster in temperatures. 62 tomorrow, down to 43 on Thursday. The weekend will try to rebound upper 50s. Look at next week, could be in the mid 60s, potentially near 70 next Monday and Tuesday. So unseasonably warm weather heads our way, but more active with better chances for rain.
I'm going to love tomorrow.
Me too.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, you're welcome.
Senior Bowl practice is underway in Mobile, Alabama, and the former Sooner, who NFL scouts are raving about, may not be the one you'd expect. That's all coming up next in sports.
In the lane, 4 turnovers, and the lob and finish. Hield with a lob, another throw down by Mba. The lob, another throw down.
You get the idea. Manu Bai all over the highlight reel when it came to quick transition offense last night. OU beating Texas for the first time in their last 7 meetings. Longhorns are now 0-5 in Big 12 play. Seeing slams like that definitely brings back memories of former OU great Blake Griffin. Of course, he's still doing that regularly with the LA Clippers. But ironically, the Oklahoma City native could be the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder. As Lob City hosting the Thunder tonight on the West Coast, OKC won their previous meeting. That was in overtime back in November. But the Thunder lost all 3 last season. To the winner of this game goes the NBA's best record. Tip-off is at 9:30. The college football season is over, but the bowl season technically isn't. We still have the Senior Bowl in Mobile, where the best recently departed seniors have a chance to show off to NFL scouts. As far as local interest, the attention would mostly be on quarterbacks Landry Jones and Tyler Wilson. But the former players, scouts Daniel Jeremiah sees as a likely first-round pick. Well, that's OU's offensive tackle Lane Johnson.
Right now, but the big tackle from Oklahoma, he's a first-round talent. Reminds me of a little bit better version of Nate Solder when you watch him on tape yesterday. Did a fantastic job. He's a unique player, and when you watch the one-on-ones, just watch him kick out to speed. You'll see a left tackle. We got a lot of tackles in this draft, very few left tackles with elite ability to kick out and cover up speed rushers.
Spring football will be here soon enough, as OU gave us a friendly reminder by releasing the date of their spring game. Sooners will play at Memorial Stadium in Norman. That game is on April 13th. Some OU fans may be a little bitter still about the way the Sooner football season ended, but make sure to tune in tonight at 10 where our Chris Lincoln catches up with Barry Switzer to get his thoughts on the 2012 season and what needs to change with this program. Some very insightful stuff, of course, coming from a guy of a previous era, and he even makes a point of talking about, the social media and all those things. It changes the recruiting so much.
Yeah, but when Barry speaks, people listen.
Exactly.
Interesting stuff, isn't it? All right, thanks, John. That's our news tonight. Thanks for watching. Will Fortune up next.
Our coverage continues online at KTL.com and at 10 after private practice. Have a good evening. We'll see you at 10 o'clock.